If you'd like to enjoy $50 worth of Full Moon Barbecue, how we doing? How we doing? And if you'd like to enjoy $50 worth of Full Moon Barbecue, just head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the Big Zone Deals, and there you'll find Full Moon Barbecue for the taking. Just $25 for 50, and away you go. I've enjoyed Full Moon Barbecue for their client of mine, and they're fantastic here right off the Parkway. I can give you a traffic report if you'd like. It's pretty light at the moment, at least just north of the interchange. Who knows south of the interchange? So to each their own. The big story today involves, college basketball as well as Chinese basketball, as federal investigators they did file sports bribery and wire fraud charges against 20 people in relation to game fixing, point shaving, and performance manipulation in college basketball. And the indictments came down this afternoon, and there was a tweet that came out from one of the players who played college basketball.
This is awful.
Yeah.
So who was indicted?
I've got the list here, and you know what? I'll just bring up the exact. It's honestly, if you're at college right now, I'm sure you were holding your breath as to whether or not you were one of the 17 colleges that were involved. But
any Southeastern Conference team?
No. The schools named in the indictment include Abilene Christian. Alabama State is involved, as is Buffalo, Coppin State, DePaul, Eastern Michigan, Fordham, Kennesaw State. They were just here in Huntsville playing Alabama. LaSalle, New Orleans, Nicholls State, North Carolina A&T, Northwestern State, Robert Morris, St. Louis, Southern Miss, and Tulane. Those are the schools on the indictment. And there was large.
So you look at three of the schools. Well, two of the schools are located in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. New Orleans and Tulane.
These look like a lot of big schools. Obviously, Alabama State's not in the big cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kennesaw State, Atlanta.
The interesting part of this story is the Chinese Basketball Association is also involved in this scheme.
Imagine that.
It's a 70-page indictment that began around September of 2022 and initially was focused on fixing Chinese basketball games, so much so that the man surrounding it is Blakeney, Antonio Blakeney, who put this out on social media. Nothing guaranteed in this world but death, taxes, and Chinese basketball. I mean, you really
That's what I was thinking.
You really can't. Yeah, I know. Jordy Arman's going to join us here in an hour here from Full Moon. Boy, I had to twist his arm on that one.
Oh, man. How'd you get him to come?
Yeah, he's got death, taxes, and the Fife Red Devils. Well, this is a little change up on that.
Now it's not it's a comma and then Chinese basketball.
Yeah, it's nothing guaranteed in this world but death, taxes, and Chinese basketball. Yeah, and Chinese basketball. So there you go. That is the big story of the day. But I mean,
unbelievable.
There is a part of me that if I'm 51, about to be 52. If you're in my age range, it does feel like we're in the land of Biff. Remember when Biff made that rise, and I think it was the second Back to the Future movie when he had that book of making money off of sports betting.
Yeah.
It feels like we live in the land of Biff right now. So also, something I mentioned yesterday to Trevor Maddich, and got a couple of good emails and a couple of texts from people that enjoyed that interview yesterday. And well, one guy who did not enjoy a certain tweet by Ross Dellinger, it's a question I went with Trevor Maddich yesterday, Georgia President Jerry Moorhead, saying that if the CSC, and that is the College Sports Commission, is not going to enforce the settlement, if the NCAA is not going to enforce tampering, and if Congress is not going to pass the SCORE Act, then it leaves the SEC in a position where you have to go our own way and create our own rules.
Well, I guess what he's wanting to create our own rules is so the other Southeastern Conference will not be spending as less of money as he is.
Well,
and really, that's where we get
a sitting head football coach, Frank Cefalo. He is the head coach of Southeastern Louisiana on the FCS level, tweeted responding to that tweet to Ross Dellinger saying, now he's back-to-back years in the Southern Conference where he's only lost one game. He responded 8 hours ago to Ross Dellinger, hey, President Moorhead, why don't you and Commissioner Sankey start by enforcing yourselves? Lion Up Football had a SEC GM contact one of my players last night who wasn't in the portal to tell him to get into the portal. Take care of your own yard, hashtag hypocrites, hashtag broken system.
Well, yeah, the system's broken and really was, pushed off the cliff by the Supreme Court. So only laws can change this. Right.
Yeah.
And almost in a unanimous decision, if I remember correctly.
I'm gonna have to look. I think it was like 9-1, or
it was almost unanimous. So it's going to take Congress or a judge to do something. Even that could be overturned again by the Supreme Court. No, but I believe if they wrote a law and get an exemption, then that's why I've said the whole time.
Yeah,
it's going to take a law to fix.
Coming up on the program today, I told you Jordy Arman's going to join us here live from Full Moon Barbecue, and I had to twist his arm in a big way to come on over here to Full Moon Barbecue. But coming up after our first break, Coach Jack Crow going to join us, and we'll talk a little bit about the national championship game. I did find somebody.
I think last time we hear Jack Crow came on as well, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. He did. Yeah, you're spot on. I did find someone who did pick the U, Josh Pate.
I think Indiana has been the most consistent and high-level commodity we've seen all year. I look at them as cruising at 39,000 feet. My only question in this game is, does Miami possess the ability at their best to just hang out at 40,000 feet long enough to win a football game? They don't need to be better over the course of a season. They need to be better in their home building over the course of 60 minutes. It all comes down to what I think they can do on the lines of scrimmage. It all comes down to the way they present unique problems to Indiana, potentially in this game, that other teams may not have. And Indiana, if you can force them to work on third down a lot more than others have, that I think is the tipping point one way or the other in this thing. I just rolled the dice on Miami being able to do that. And so I'm going to pick them to win the game outright.
So Josh Pate going with the U. I just, until somebody shows me otherwise, the Indiana Invitational, there is, and I can pinpoint the very first play from scrimmage of the Big Ten championship game when Fernando Mendoza just got lit up. I mean, he was out for a play, came back in and
It's kind of like Joe Burrow, kind of.
A little bit.
Well, he got lit up. By, who was that did that? TCU?
I know. Was that
who were they playing?
I'm going to have to
look.
Was it
Miami? Was it Miami? I don't remember.
I'm going to have to look that up. But you're in terms of being locked in.
Yeah, and he was a different player.
Ever since that moment in the first play from offense, he has just been unreal and unstoppable.
He was pretty good before that, though, too.
No, I'm not saying, but
against Penn State, he was unbelievable.
Although he threw two picks
at the end of the game.
Yeah, he threw two picks in that
on fourth down. It was fourth down when he threw that play.
Maybe it was the Oklahoma game that you're thinking of.
No,
that was the semifinal for LSU.
No, I'm talking about it was a bowl game the year before. He got lit up. And he came back after that. And then after that,
that was
hit,
UCF. That was UCF.
UCF. And after that, he was on fire.
Yep, that entire next year in 2019.
Yes.
Also coming up on the program.
And the rest of that game.
Yeah. As LSU won that bowl game 40-32. Also coming up later on this first hour, as soon as we're done, you're going to get a little bit of Paul Feinbaum, but then beginning at 7:45, the Crimson Tide Sports Network will have Alabama-Auburn women's basketball as the Crimson Tide are 17-1 under 13th year head coach Christy Curry. And Roger Hoover is going to join us from T-Town. This is in T-Town, right? Well, let me look at it. No, it's at Auburn. So he is down on the plains at Auburn. And so we'll have the voice of women's basketball. And, of course, you hear Roger all over creation there for the Crimson Tide Sports Network and does a fantastic job. And we'll get into more. Alabama 17-1 on the year. Auburn is, the only loss was at the beginning of the year against South Carolina. That's it. 17-1 for this women's basketball team. And we'll have that action for you tonight beginning at 7:45. And then the play-by-play tip begins at 8 o'clock there.
I remember they did really good in the tournament last year, Alabama did.
They did, yeah.
And but it was Barker's daughter that was one of their best players.
Yeah.
Who graduated.
That's right. Yeah.
Who started out at Georgia.
So we'll talk a little women's basketball as going to get Alabama-Auburn coming up tonight. And then, by the way, you're also going to get Alabama women's basketball on Sunday as well as they play host to Tennessee on Sunday. So on the subject of some college basketball, there was no point shaving last night with Kentucky as they were down by 18 and at LSU.
Boy, that was a tough way to lose.
It was a perfect pass.
It was a perfect, but not really.
Throw in.
It went through the LSU guy's hands. Went right between the guy's hands.
That's
LSU's.
Dave Neal on the call there from the SEC Network, and missed free throws. Missed
two free throws. Free throws.
Kentucky missed free throws too, though. Yeah. But, I mean, you got to hit your free throws.
Exactly.
So that happened as well.
No, he said it was a perfect pass, and it was. If you don't count, it went through the guy's hands. The LSU guys went right between his hands.
There was another camera angle on the baseline, and it was just beyond his fingertips. To me, it was a perfect pass.
I thought it went right between his hands.
But
you can watch it again.
Anyway, Kentucky pulls wide because that would have made Kentucky 1-3 in SEC play. Yeah. And instead, LSU is still winless in SEC play. And that was a home game for LSU as well. And you saw this look on Coach Pope's face of, I do not believe I'm going to have to go in and talk to the media about losing in Baton Rouge. Well, kids pulled one out for him, and here we are as the current standings because, Vanderbilt just got obliterated at Texas. So now there's a 5-way tie for first place in SEC men's basketball.
Texas seems to have woken up then. Right.
Apparently, they lost at home just a week ago.
To Mississippi State. Once again, they looked horrible.
They did. So now you've got Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Missouri, and Florida all at 3-1. Your 2-2 teams, this is just a mess. Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State are all at 2-2. And then Oklahoma, Auburn, and South Carolina are all at 1-3. And there's only one winless team, and that is the team we were just referencing in LSU. They are 0-4. I don't know if you saw the moment from John Calipari last night as he was talking with the media and mentioned that Auburn's a good basketball team. But then somebody in the media said, well, they lost tonight to Missouri.
But Auburn's good. Did they win tonight?
There's somebody else laughing in there. Who is that?
That's good. All right, I'm out before I say something.
Who knows what John Calipari was thinking, but because that,
right,
it was a big win for the Auburn program. But I don't know what's going on at Auburn, and they've
lost a lot of close games.
Yeah, they have, and those close games they won last year.
Right, and I still don't understand. What game was it where they lost at home and the last shot was disallowed?
Texas A&M.
And
I was told by one of the officials that I communicate with that there was an angle that we were not shown that shows it clearly that it was in his hands at zeros. Yeah. And my response was, let's show it.
Where is it? I'd like to see it.
All of us
because see. I thought that
it's a difference right now between 1-3 and 2-2 right now.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big game when you lose at home.
Yeah.
When you lose at home in a last-second shot, to me, it looked like he got it out of his hand before. That's what it looked like to me. But I haven't seen that special.
Neither have I.
But are you agreeing with me, though, that it looked like to you that he got it off?
I thought he just got it. Although last night they disallowed a shot by Kentucky, and there was an angle that showed it. They did show it as the shot clock went zeros, but it was bang, bang. That could have been the difference in the game as well. But Kentucky pulls one out of the hat, and we need to take our first time out because we've got Coach Jack Crow set to join us on the other side, live here from Full Moon Barbecue. Just getting things started here on a Thursday. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
I'm Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you haven't, go over to our YouTube channel. It's WZZN TV. WZZN TV. Give us a subscription or subscribe or whatever you do over there. I've subscribed, and we're sneaking up on 1,000 subscriptions. And you find folks here in North Alabama as well as across the country, across the world. You can check us out. And that camera right now is on a Tua jersey, an Alabama Tua jersey, as well as a few others. Yeah. It's not a Miami jersey. That's an Alabama jersey there on WZZN TV. Always fun to talk some college football with our next guest as Coach Jack Crow is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, Coach?
I'm good, guys. What are y'all?
We're back here. We're back here at Full Moon Barbecue. We just think of you all the time when we're here at Full Moon Barbecue.
Sell them, love them. Did you ever know Pat James West? That name?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So we used to go to PJ's Lounge when I was 10, I think, with my dad.
Well, I went there.
They didn't card you?
No, they just sat there and fed me burgers everywhere I went.
You know who had the best Pat James stories is Barry Switzer.
He coached at Oklahoma forever, right?
Yeah. I think they were.
Pat James did.
I think they ran together. If you want to. Take it down.
Yeah. So, what was the story?
Hey, not on the radio, baby. Not
I don't blame him for asking him.
Yeah, but the world knows Switzer. The one thing that was always amazed me about Barry is how openly he led his life, and people just accepted him, as the bootlegger's son. Hell, he doesn't do it like everybody else. He got away with it. So whatever.
Well, we're coming to a close of another football season on Monday, Coach, and I
painful.
Yeah,
painful.
Yeah.
How's that Alabama state of mind, Wes?
Oh, depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, reason
I think anybody. Well, really, I think it's kind of like anything else. Everybody knew there's going to be a drop off because how could there not be?
Absolutely.
You had the best ever. How could there not be a drop off?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of proud of what they did this year because I was in camp and they came a long way.
Did they?
I'm not sure. Yes. I thought they'd lose 3 games at least.
Yeah.
And said so on the radio. And they did. But I didn't see them playing like I didn't think they'd win at Georgia. Didn't think they'd lose at Florida State either. I thought Oklahoma, I was scared of Oklahoma the whole time just because their defense was so good.
Yeah.
And for them to beat them once they should have beat them the first time, really.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Yeah. So was scared at Auburn because the way they played. And, Kalen DeBoer has done really good except for the last against Florida State, against Michigan, and against Oklahoma last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And then the last game.
Yeah.
But that game was not making excuses. They got their butts beat.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that happened in that game that I think were contributed to it.
Yeah.
Going for it on 4th down on your own, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. Not that early in the game. End of the game, different. That early in the game, you can't do it. And that told a lot. I think you look at this, it looked like Indiana was going to call timeout to save him there with the way that his face was like, he was like, what are y'all doing? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And then the play call was awful. And then when the quarterback got hurt and fumbled, it was a double whammy. I mean, because they get that first down there, who knows what they might make a game of it.
One thing I'll add to that, Wes, is guess. Just looking at it, don't know, don't have the facts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when this injury with Ty really started. But I really think, they almost were at the point where how they produced was tied to that one guy, which you can't let that happen. And you know what it's like to go through a practice where your quarterback has a torso injury, or maybe you don't, but I do. And all you're doing is just saving them, hoping that you get a higher level of recovery so that ball comes out of there. And then I didn't think the thing that took him out of the game was enough to take him out of the game unless there was a prior existing injury.
Yeah.
And so,
he had cracked ribs. I know. But he was hurt since the Missouri game.
Okay.
Originally, he was hurt since the Missouri game. He's been hurt. He's been playing.
That may be,
and they hadn't practiced a lot.
Yeah.
And their timing does get bad. No question.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Torso, I played quarterback. Now, I'm certainly not putting myself in the example of what I'm discussing, but only to tell you, if you got a rib injury, that torso torque that it takes to throw a ball is rib against rib every time you throw it.
Mm.
I mean, that, and I wouldn't question Ty Simpson's toughness against anybody. It was just, and I really think if you know all the facts, if you were, sitting, as a head coach or the offense or the quarterback coach, if you heard the story every day, I went through a little bit of this with a quarterback at Auburn, Pat Washington. We went through a season. He was never well. I mean, we went to play a game against Miami. He couldn't throw it, and we were number one in the country. And we didn't tell anybody he couldn't throw it. Why would you tell him? And we fumble a pitch or we beat them, And so, there's so many circumstances around this season that are not about coaching. They're not about coaching. There's some of them that are. I mean, they've got to get more physical now. They got to. But to call
let me say this about that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. But it's hard to do it. They had plenty of plays that they had it blocked well enough in the game.
Oh, yeah.
To do better than they did.
Absolutely. You know what? I picked a lot of running backs. I picked a lot of running backs that were first-round draft choices, okay? I picked a lot of backs. You know who I picked.
They were pretty good.
I used to pick them on the basis of what they did when the blocking broke down. That's the measuring stick of a running back.
100%.
And I can remember picking a running back because it should have been a 2-yard loss and he made a 1-yard gain. And we had a guy at Clemson one time named Terry Allen who had been a defensive back. Yeah. Played in the NFL for 15 years.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And he wasn't even hardly on the depth chart. And he made that one run. And I said, this is the guy that'll save our ass. Because you're not going to block them all the time, baby.
No, that ain't going to happen. But the problem becomes big when you do block them and one guy brings them down for a 3-yard gain and everybody else is on the ground.
Yeah.
You got to make one guy miss.
You got to, The other thing is you got to overcome the unblocked play and you got to be able to beat one by yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Check. You're my guy. Even though can you handle one by yourself in an open field? And the great ones could make a move in the hole, and Terry could. And you say, well, how did that guy miss? Well, stick your nose about 6 inches from him, and you'll know. There's a twitch in here that you don't see unless you're.
And they got a guy coming with a big twitch.
Yeah. You got and these guys that want to go on how big and run the 40 time.
No, you can't do that.
Can I say
no?
Bullshit?
No, you can't say that, but you just did. That's okay.
Hey,
we understand.
Hey,
yeah.
I've had some, and it's amazing how many guys run 4.65 or 4.7 that you can build an offense around.
Oh yeah. Well, they got a guy that can run a lot better than that coming, and has twitch. He's as good as any running back, in my opinion. I might be missing somebody, but since Carnell Williams.
Man, you took it to another. You took it.
I didn't say Bo Jackson.
Well,
because you can't say that, right? The only guy that's as good as Bo Jackson, in my opinion, in college was before him.
Yeah. Well,
I can give you some stories there too, because we had him playing fullback for 2 weeks. But
fullback.
Well, when you see his legs, you'd understand.
Yeah.
Hey,
It looked like somebody put a horse's
hind end,
not hind end,
well,
but
his legs.
Yeah, they were huge. I'll never forget the first time I saw him.
But he was, when Bo said it, and I'm still, Bo and I have never not been connected at some level, up until last week when, I just, he so overcame coaching. He so overcame me and everybody else because he was very much who he was. And as a football coach, it bothered the hell out of you. Pat finally dealt with it as well he should have. But when Bo said to the national media, I'm leaving baseball and I'm going to go play football, and it's really just a hobby. Well, you know what? He told me that halfway through his freshman year. Now, what do you think that did to me?
Hobby.
It probably made you mad. I imagine.
Well,
hobby.
Well, anyway, that's a whole nother story. My point is, we've gotten off the page here completely.
I can hear it, Coach. I can hear it.
So, anyway, it's a book. It's a book. But I don't know where Alabama people are. Wes, you're the sort of voice of reason. You are a outstanding football guy, in my opinion, as a player, as an analyst. I put Cole there too. You two guys can break it down as good as any coach can, in my opinion. If you know who I'm talking about, Cole Kuechly.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And how does it work out that you're both damn offensive centers? Huh?
Coach, he started here.
That's right.
Yeah. Did he really?
We were on together for a minute. Yeah, for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first year was with Cole Kuechly.
Yeah, and I was the producer.
And producer was Steve.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you decided to go into insurance instead of doing sideline and being a color person or whatever.
Well, it's not. Yeah, well, I do a lot of insurance, but it's really I did this as a hobby.
I know that.
Yeah, you're flipping them. You're flipping them, Coach.
Yeah.
But I'm
it's the other way around.
And I was talking to Bill Clark today. Sometimes people don't understand. There's more to who you are than who you are, because we're dealing with a lot of influences in other areas. But somebody has to tell Alabama people what they don't know, because there's a lot of crap out there, Wes. And I don't know when.
That's every school, right?
I hope you have a following to actually.
I would say I do.
I think we got a little bit of following.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, I wouldn't know. I don't know that stuff. Okay, so if I insulted you, I'm sorry.
No, you didn't insult me.
No, not a bit, Coach. Not a bit.
But I'm telling you now, if you don't fully invest in this guy and this coaching staff, the price to pay is going to be more than you would ever consider paying.
There's 100%. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You are.
I told a guy last night who I wasn't upset with when he called or what he said. What he said was really right. But who are you going to hire that's better than Coach DeBoer? Who can you hire? I know one, but can you hire him?
Yeah.
I know several you can't.
Is he coaching in New England this weekend?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. That's who I wanted to hire from the get-go.
That'd be a little bit of a problem right now.
Yes.
Really? Oh, man.
Yes.
Wow.
I think he's incredible. I think he's as good as of a technician.
D'Amico Ryans, who we're talking about, just in case people.
Yeah.
Well, I know exactly
he's as good as a football technician. I made my kids watch him when they were in middle school
All right.
of how to play the game.
Well, now Joe Kynes and I were, sort of cut out of the same cloth, and so Joe, Joe is how I connected to D'Amico, because I don't know if he signed him or not. I don't know quite when he came along, but how many stars did D'Amico have?
Oh, goodness.
All three of them. Two? Was it three? It was three. I remember three. Yeah.
A point is, you don't know where that thing mentality is. I was telling, need dropping names. I was telling somebody today, if college football coaches don't begin to understand, because this thing of bringing in 30 new players every year,
it's hard to do.
You better get used to it. That's right.
Yeah, I know that.
You better get used to, I got to bring in some. You can't get caught in Dabo's world. So how many bring in, and do you? And as Nick says, you better pay the right ones.
Yes.
And and I know, Wes, how the NFL decides they're going to pay the right ones. Well, number one, you take the Wonderlic. You know this, right, Wes?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You cat or a dog.
They're gonna create 4 or 5 assessment tools, and then they're going to rely on that combine and visiting you at your house. They're making psychological assessments. If you say one thing that Signetti has, is he's got a psychological radar. That it's no accident now. His dad was one of the most unique. I mean, this guy's a prodigy, not by accident. Signetti's dad hired Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's right.
So this guy has got a radar system that if you think you're going to equal that, you're saying you're going to equal Saban, because he probably had the same one.
Coach, we've only got about 3 minutes left in this segment, and I wanted to get your thoughts on. I wanted to get your thoughts on Miami and Indiana. Well, what do you think we're going to see on Monday, Coach?
Well, you're going to see Miami win. Yeah, big. Yeah. If they can play better than they played all year, and what I mean better is not be greater than, is eliminate all your damn mistakes.
All your penalties, that stupid penalties they make.
If you eliminate all that shit, excuse my French, and get the best out
he's going to get a
every
morning
player.
show if he's not careful.
and you get the best out of every snap. You play with no turnovers, keep penalties to 3, average 3.5 yards a rush. Listen, I can give you the checklist, and if they do it, they're going to win.
Which they can do that, I think.
They can do it.
But if you make a penalties, it doesn't matter. And if you don't run double reverse passes after you've done that, and then the guy throws it out of bounds, which you can't do, pitching back to the quarterback, when it looks like you're going to run the ball and score, you're going to lose the game against them. Not against the team they play, but against them. But that's what kept the team they played in the game. And with the team they played, had one returning starter, and nobody on the defensive line, maybe 1 or 2, will play in the NFL, where everybody last year is up there now.
I'm telling you.
I didn't even get to half the questions I wanted to get to you as well.
But that's not a bad thing.
No.
Offensive line at Miami can win the game.
Yes. The center's the worst player on the team, but he gets them in the right play, and played at Alabama for 3 years. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yes,
he's my nephew's 2 of them are best friends. They go everywhere. Yeah. And his brother, who was a 5-star, never played anywhere. Yeah. The reason he came to Alabama, he was a package deal.
Hey, they call it the listen, there's a bunch of them. The cow and the calf. The cow, you bring the calf.
Right.
Calf ends up being better than the cow.
A lot of times.
A lot of times.
More 3 stars in the in the NFL than 5 stars.
Are you free next week, Coach? Because I mean, this is fantastic.
You know what? I hadn't said no to Wes yet. So, you know what
I'll reach out to you. I'll reach out to you on Tuesday. How does next Tuesday sound to you?
I'm telling you, Wes, I'm gonna ask you, and you go ask.
I got you.
Too.
I know. I can't. Yeah. I might have to go into hiding after he calls you enough.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys.
Coach, thank you.
I'll
see you soon.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see you. Bye.
That's Jack Crow.
Yeah,
testing out our delay system. Pretty good.
Was on the phone.
That's exactly where I went in my head. That's Drew DeArmond, and we do need to take our final timeout. Roger Hoover.
And that's short time period.
Roger Hoover is set to join us on the other side. We'll talk a little Alabama women's basketball.
Goals.
Next year's we're live from Full Moon Barbecue. Go to break, Brody. We'll be right back, please.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur, where we're jump starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The College Football Playoff National Championship. The magical run by the 10th-ranked Miami Hurricanes continues.
There's no bad play, no bad call, no injury that we can't overcome.
When they faced a top-ranked and undefeated Indiana Hoosiers.
All I can say is go Hoosiers!
Number 10 Miami versus number 1 Indiana. Coverage begins Monday at 6:30 Eastern with kickoff at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon, but it is going to be cold. Temperatures only climbing into the mid-30s, but with a wind chill, it's going to feel like it's in the mid-20s. We drop into the lower 20s for an air temperature as we head into the overnight early Friday morning, and mostly to partly sunny sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 50s, small chance of rain Friday evening.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Coming up tonight at 7:45 pregame for Alabama women's basketball. The Crimson Tide are 17-1 on the year, 3-1 in SEC play. Let's head down to the Plains. And the voice of the Alabama women's basketball team, Roger Hoover. And honestly, Roger, I hear you all over the place. And how are you this evening, sir?
Been really well, Steve. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I listened to a good bit of the Arkansas game, and boy, was that just that was a really impressive performance by this women's team. But for folks that have not paid attention to this women's basketball program, tell me your impressions of what you've seen out of Christy Curry's squad, Roger.
Yeah, it's time to pay attention. I mean, 17-1 overall record, 3 wins, only 1 loss in SEC play, and another opportunity tonight to get another win against the Auburn Tigers. That would bump Alabama up even more to 4-1, considering Auburn was picked to finish next to last in the league, off to just a 1-3 start on their own. So this Crimson Tide team has done really well. Have to learn how to play without some real stars like the 3 players we saw drafted by the WNBA last year. Stay Green, Sarah Ashley Barker, and Aaliyah Nye. So Alabama has had kind of a season where they spent most of November and December at home in Tuscaloosa, at Coleman Coliseum, playing games and winning games by comfortable margins. And what we learned was not so much about the offense the first couple months of the year, but we learned about the defense. So routinely holding teams under 50 points and just dominating some of those games. And that's really spilled into SEC play. Had a tough first loss against South Carolina to begin conference play, but most teams will have a tough loss against South Carolina. That's how good the Gamecocks looked this season. But then bouncing back afterwards against Arkansas, and then upsetting number 6 Kentucky just after Kentucky had one of the best wins in the college basketball season against LSU. I think really said a lot about how good this team can be, especially holding one of the best in the SEC, and Claire Strack to a season low in terms of points. She was 1 of 13 from the floor. Just there were a lot of good things in that game, and then Alabama backed it up on Monday night in Missouri. Now you hope they can keep it going here, but it's a team that has some star power, but not necessarily a team full of stars. You can't point to the leading scorer, Jessica Timmons, and say, okay, Alabama is going to go as she goes, because Diana Collins is scoring at a high level. Carly Weathers defending, scoring at a high level, just coming off 23 points last time out against Missouri on Monday. So it's a team really that has bought into playing a team game where no one player is greater than the other. And I think that's made it a lot of fun to watch this team every single game, because it's a different hero each and every night. And it's going to be fun to see who emerges later this evening down on the Plains.
Well, when you have a team like that, though, Roger, I mean, I would say sky's the limit. I mentioned hearing your call of that Arkansas game. It's when you're humming like that. Give me a key for. You mentioned Auburn; they're 1-3 in SEC play, but give me a key or two for tonight, Roger.
I think if the Crimson Tide continue defending at the level they are in terms of forcing teams to turn the basketball over, most notably last Thursday against Kentucky, season high in turnovers for a very disciplined top 10 Kentucky basketball team who, after they lost to Alabama, went back out and beat number 5, Oklahoma, this past Sunday. So the fact that Alabama was able to turn them over, I think, speaks to the fact that this group just plays suffocating defense. You've got to have a good post presence in order to have a good day. And even Kentucky did have one, but she had a career worst day against Alabama. So I think it starts with the defense, starts with players like Carly Weathers that getting quick steals and transition, kick-starting the offense. And then In the post play, Naomi Jones, a redshirt sophomore from Jackson, has been outstanding in her first healthy season playing for the Crimson side. We're hopeful that Essence Cody is returning soon, another outstanding forward that has been a all-SEC selection before in her career. If those two are healthy, Alabama can lock down the paint in a way they really haven't in the Christy Curry era, and that's saying something considering some of the great talent we've had during Coach Curry's time in Tuscaloosa. So all of that has made for a really good recipe for this to be an outstanding season, and so far it's lived up to it for the first 18 games.
Had the pleasure of heading down to Spring Garden last year as they took on Hazel Green in a girls' basketball game, and Ace Austin went off. What's your early impressions of Ace in a Crimson uniform, Roger?
She's a great contributor. She reminds me of Carly Weathers a few years ago. Carly, as a freshman, wasn't necessarily known for her scoring. She was known for her defense. Ace so far has been the same way. She's mostly been just a pesky defender, and then the shots will come as time goes on. I mean, we've all seen the highlights from those Spring Garden games like you're talking about. No doubt those performances are on the way at Alabama. She's just got to get used to playing against players, and especially guards that are a little bit taller than she is. But I think once she's able to do that and kind of settle in, like, again, we saw with Carly Weathers, who came from a small town in Tennessee and then eventually figured out how to play SEC women's basketball, I have no doubt the same thing is going to happen for Ace, and she may even take it to a higher level than what we've seen with Carly Weathers this year as a senior. So we're huge fans of Ace Austin. She's Alabama through and through, and just so lucky to have her in Crimson and wanting to have a really great career with the Crimson side.
How many years is this for you calling women's basketball, Roger?
12, believe it or not. Yeah, 12 years. I came in Coach Curry's second year that she was the head coach. So I've been fortunate to be part of this ride, but seen Alabama go from, seriously, the bottom of the SEC to now a team that enters every year expecting to make the NCAA tournament. And for the last 5 years, that's been the case.
Is this the best women's team you've seen at this moment this year? Not just this year, but during your time.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of factors with that. I always look at how you finish in the postseason more than anything. And, Alabama's been knocking on the door the last 2 years of Sweet 16. So it's still hard to wrap my mind around the fact that we no longer have Sarah Ashley Barker and Aaliyah Nye, two WNBA superstars, and we're still playing at this high a level. So this is definitely the best start to a season I've had. Whether or not this will be the best team, I think remains to be seen. But again, it speaks to the consistency that Coach Curry's had for having a plan for when players like that leave. We've seen some superstar players in the SEC, and then those programs don't have a plan for life after them. Pretty notably, the team we just played the other night, Missouri, had been talking to the WNBA the last few years, and then they were never able to achieve great heights after she left. Well, Alabama's trying to prove that without Sarah Ashley Barker and Aaliyah Nye, this is still one of the best programs in the SEC, and so far this group lives up to it.
Roger, we are right up against a break, and we're looking forward to the call tonight, and can't thank you enough for hopping on in a game day, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you, Steve. Roll Tide.
That is the voice of the Alabama women's basketball team, Roger Hoover. Again, that pregame will start at 7:45 tonight, so you'll get quite a bit of that last hour of Paul Feinbaum, but then you get Alabama-Auburn tipping up tonight. And again, a big thank you to Roger Hoover. Drew DeArmond is in the on-deck circle. You've already heard a little bit from Drew. As we're live here from Full Moon Barbecue.
Those were the words, but wasn't the coach saying them?
Yeah.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Seahawks added quarterback Sam Darnold to the injury report, listed as questionable for Saturday's NFC divisional round playoff game versus the 49ers due to an oblique injury. He did practice today, and Darnold told reporters he does expect to play. Niners receiver Ricky Pearsall questionable with a knee injury. Would the Eagles be open to trading receiver A.J. Brown this offseason? GM Howie Roseman's answer to that question, he said it's hard to find great players in the NFL, and A.J.'s a great player. Brown, with 4 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons in Philly, has shown his frustrations at various points the last couple of years. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes said he intends to be ready for Week 1 of the 2026 NFL season. He had surgery in mid-December to repair 2 torn ligaments in his left knee. NBA, a trade demand from Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, demoted following a hot start. He hasn't played the last 13 games. Golden State just 3 games over 500. Doesn't have a lot of time to capitalize on a window with Steph Curry, notes ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
The Golden State Warriors don't have a real future outside of Stephen Curry. So they have to get this right. Right when it comes down to getting back the right piece for Jonathan Kuminga, it's just very embarrassing, and it's a big disappointment. And when it comes down to talking about this situation with the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State hosts the Knicks tonight, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. New York guard Jalen Brunson won't play because of a sprained ankle. Mavs rookie Cooper Flagg, ankle injury, out tonight against Utah. Suns guard Devin Booker won't play tonight against the Pistons because of an ankle injury as well.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, we'll continue to react to the Don Harbaugh news and ask the question, which head coaching position will be the next one filled? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
.97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here at Full Moon Barbecue. Got a full hour with Drew DeArmond because he just doesn't have enough time in the morning. Those 3 hours, a 3-hour tour.
And Full Moon Barbecue's not open.
Well, yeah.
So let me ask you this. Did you ever watch the hockey 6-year-old fight?
I did not look it up. We played a report from Inside Edition on a 8-year-old just hockey brawl for 8-year-olds.
I mean, this may not be true, but when I was growing up, and then when I was didn't have gray hair and wasn't working for this station, I heard that Connor Neighbors was a hell of a young hockey player.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah. I heard Wes had a lot of fun in the stands. That's what people told me anyway.
What are you talking about that?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
But you got into it. You love some hockey.
Well, no, my dad used to go.
Oh,
yeah. He get mad at the people.
Maybe that was the version that it
was on. Is a year older than Connor.
Yeah,
and was always in the.
Connor would be a fantastic enforcer in the SPHL.
That's what he was in Huntsville High School as a freshman.
That's what I was going to say. The stories I heard is that he was a mean and ornery hombre at hockey.
Well, he's built like a bowling ball. So
he was fun to watch.
He was fun to watch play football. I
tell you, it was fun to watch. That when he was here, he left when he was 16. Is the guy that plays for the Washington Capitals?
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Nick Dowd.
Yeah, Nick Dowd. That's right.
Connor was on all his teams.
Yeah,
they were on a roller hockey team with Nick Dowd. That was one of the funnest things I've ever watched. The ball never touched the ground. The roller ball never did. Nick would have it in the air the whole time.
Yeah.
All right. I just looked this up just to make sure I can say it. But Connor now part of the Texas A&M staff.
Yes.
So he's now working under Tommy Moffitt, you're telling me?
Yes. Imagine that. That's where.
Congrats to Connor.
Yes.
I've looked at
I hadn't asked about where
4
his
different
whereabouts
sources have put it out. So
so he'll be, I would assume, an assistant strength and conditioning coach with football.
Yes.
And get away from the Cajuns. Had a good run there, but probably needed a fresh start.
Well, you have to. There's a lot of reasons he left. He left on his own accord.
Exactly.
I don't think the head. Well, first of all, the university's having money issues.
Oh, no question.
And it was hard to hire a staff.
Mm-hmm.
You have guys moving up, they leave.
Yeah.
And he went through this season with 3, and now he has 2 assistants.
I mean, in this climate.
He was in the volleyball. That's what.
Yeah,
he was doing volleyball. He was doing softball.
I had to wear a bunch of hats because on the G5 level, it's even harder because of the money.
Well, not every school has the problems I think that Lafayette has. They messed up some grants. They did some different things that they're paying the price for now as a whole university.
Yeah,
and I don't think the head coach wanted to go anywhere.
Yeah,
Connor wants to be a head strength coach in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah,
that's a good way to do it under Tommy Moffitt.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
I don't know how much you heard of Coach Crow coming in here. Enough.
I mean, I heard the gist of the comment, talking about recruiting running backs, talking about Terry Allen, talking about the Wonderlic,
and getting behind.
I could have told him some stories about D'Amico. There's some NFL people who were awful stupid back in the day.
They're just because you're in the. My dad, he told me a lot of things. Most of them were funny.
Yeah.
But the one thing he said: do not assume that because your coach is in the NFL, that he knows more than coaches in college.
Exactly.
He was absolutely 100% right about that. Now, I had some good coaches. The offensive coordinator, obviously, at Houston, he was cutting edge. There's no doubt. It's June Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we ran the run and shoot.
Yeah, and he won at Hawaii.
Yeah, but we were the first ones to run it.
Yeah, in the
but
NFL.
we ran the ball more than we threw it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just set up the run by throwing the ball.
Right.
And it was fun because you had block 1-2. It was easier in college. I mean, blocking for Mike Shua couldn't set up 1-2. He is 1-2, 2.5, 3 to set up. We were 1-2 throw. How long do you have to hold your block for that?
Yeah, I was hearing today, speaking of Shula's, that Chris Shula, the DC, may be the front runner with the Steelers. And the Steelers haven't missed since Chuck Noll. So made me a little nervous because, I mean, I know the other 2 Shulas, his uncles missed. Even though Mike was,
he did
never
well
really
for
been an
Dave.
NFL
Dave
coach.
had it going for a second.
David did
Cincinnati.
okay in Cincinnati, not great,
but better. A lot of people do in Cincinnati.
Yeah, so it will be interesting if he was the choice. I would expect it to be a young cat because that's just their formula.
That's what they do.
They know how to identify young coaches, and they've had 3 coaches since 1969.
Well, Baltimore as well, 18 years ago. There was no head coaching experience at that time for Harbaugh.
No, he was a special teams coach.
Right. That's right.
And then when they hired Chuck Noll with no head coaching experience, they hired Bill Cowher, who had only been a special teams coach, and Mike Tomlin was a defensive backs coach and who had learned under Tony Dungy. So they've mastered it, at least in the last 50 plus years. So we'll see. I mean, they've had 3 straight Hall of Fame coaches. That's really hard to do. And so we'll see what the Steelers do. It's one of the best organizations in professional sports as far as with the stability of the ownership. So I even thought Harbaugh might say, hold it with the Giants, once that job came open to maybe express his interest. But it is hard to believe he doesn't look it. But Harbaugh is 63. Okay, so you're just like, he's been around forever, and that's not really the Steelers model.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers model, they want to hire a coach. They don't, and I think that's why they do well. They don't look to fire the guy, well, you didn't get anybody to play us your first 2 years, so we're going to have to start all over. It's kind of what Jack Crow was saying, get behind Kalen DeBoer, because you're going to – that's what I was trying to convince some Alabama fans, just fire him and start all over. And I'm like – you don't want to start all over right now because then the guy you were talking about that's the best since Carnell Williams is going to end up in a different uniform, and then you're really going to cuss because I'm sorry, because he's going to ask out of his letter of intent. He's going to be out of here, and then you're going to be.
I don't think there's anybody with anything even considering that. He made the playoffs. What are you talking about?
I know, just crazy.
And a playoff win.
Yeah.
And I do think it calmed the masses a little bit when there was the massacre over in Atlanta. I mean, when you see Oregon get pounded even worse than Alabama did. I mean, this Indiana team's just really good.
That didn't make me feel that much better. I was just happy about it because it was the pressure that would take off of them. I mean, because if you
had Indiana lost.
Oh, if Indiana lost, they'd be
it would be worse. It'd be people hollering. So I thought it did ease some of it. Now he's still going to have to make changes after this portal, and they need to hit on some targets that are coming in this week. They need to hit on 2 or 3 more offensive linemen. They need to hit on a couple of defensive linemen. One of those probably being an edge, and then another one an interior defensive lineman.
Today?
I haven't. Look, I'll be honest, guys. I took my afternoon nap, so I didn't have 6,000 text messages, so I didn't see anything. So I
would have gotten 6,000 text messages.
Yeah, I would have gotten.
That's
because trust me, I see. It's been a little over 2 years, but I was actually taking my afternoon nap when Saban retired, so I had 6,000 text messages, and so I will go like, "Good Lord, it had been like 30 minutes." And so, here it goes. You're checking Chris Lowe and everything, and making sure it's not, the fake Chris Lowe or something like Jimmy Hines with 60 fake accounts. But you knew it was real, and then then I spent the rest of the afternoon, connecting dots. So, but they just need probably 2 to 3 more offensive linemen. I would say what they're looking for a guy that can play tackle, probably a center and a guard. They're looking for 3. And then
who's going to play? The center's coming was at Michigan, right? The guy coming.
From he could potentially be guard. Be a guard. The guy that I would look at would be the guy that's in town right now, who hopefully will never leave town, and hopefully will actually be signed his regular share. Unlike Hollywood Smothers, which is an unmitigated disaster, he needs to sign something when you announce the commitment. It's the Cal Poly center. I think he's a really good looking player, and it's the same school where Cuevas started his journey. Cuevas was at Cal Poly, then went to Washington, and then went to Alabama. This kid's coming from Cal Poly. He's already been a 2-year starter at center. He's got 2 years of eligibility left, and he fits their profile. And you're talking about the young man from Michigan that came over. His father played for Nick Saban, started for him at Michigan State. But he's probably going to be a guard if they can get this kid. And so I would say right now, and then they bring in another offensive tackle that played this year. He's also played some guard from Texas. So we'll see what happens with him. But they need a tackle, a center, and a guard, in my opinion.
Well, I was very impressed with the class that Alabama brought in.
High school.
High school last year. Yeah. Very impressed. These guys, I think, do a great job at high school recruiting, but now you got to get better at the portal because of it's hard for, and a little bit of the 6-year deals going away, right? The COVID year,
yep,
and those guys are going away. Vanderbilt had how many 6-year guys this year? 30,
23,
6-year guys.
Yeah.
But they also have 5th-year guys, too.
Yeah.
So I think half their team was, 23, 24. That's going away. Yeah. That'll help a little bit the guys that are still depending on high school and developing people, because now you're going to have to try to do both. It's going to be very hard because the guys are losing patience. Like 24 was going to be, by the time he was junior, would be a great player. He'd been a number 1 pick. He's going to be a number 1 pick, I think. Unless he throws it all away trying to get NIL money and move it every year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If he's patient and would have stayed at Alabama, he'd been a number 1 pick before it's over with. He had a lot to learn. His technique is awful. He was getting better every game, though. I mean, probably came, I don't know. Where did he come from, Drew?
You talking about Keanu Keeley?
Yeah. No. The 24, the freshman.
He's from Arizona. Yeah. I'm sorry. He's going to Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
actually.
I knew that,
Yeah, just like half the team, seems like. I mean, but, Brent Key's a smart guy. He worked at Alabama. He knows he got a lot of good players. So he's having to plug holes. And they got Mbakwe. They got Ionata, the center. They got Noah Carter, who you're talking about.
Noah Carter.
Who played some, who was in the rotation at edge.
Yeah, which he he's going to be a great player if he gets good coaching. He was on his way. He was getting better and better and better.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of trying to catch up with where guys were going, but a couple of the guys that I was talking about, they got 2 coming in from Oregon, and I hope they get them both because they're both at need positions. Blake Purchase, 6'3", 245. He had a sack in one of their playoff games. I think it was against Texas Tech. Honk if you sack their quarterback. And he had a really good year this year, and they need an edge, and so he's going to be in town. And then now Oregon retained all their starting defensive linemen, but there was a big 325, 330-pound interior guy, Terrence Green. He's going to be in town he wanted to go somewhere where he could start, and he sure as heck could compete for that at Alabama because Alabama don't have many guys left. And so he could be a piece that Alabama signs. And then the guy I was talking about, because it's hard for me to pronounce his name, but I'm going to give it the best I can. I think it's Racine Delgatti is the center from Cal Poly. And again, I think he's somebody that, that definitely that they would be very highly interested in, that I would be shocked didn't compete for a starting job. I mean, based on his tape, and I know it was Cal Poly, but he's a really good player. And they got to have dudes because they got to have some competition in there. And I just think he's somebody to watch, no doubt about it. And I think he could come in and start, no doubt about it, right away. And then, like I said, they've got another couple of guys at offensive tackle, one from Texas. He's originally from Grayson, Georgia. He's played guard and tackle. He's another guy that's coming in this weekend that they could potentially sign. But they need to sign somebody that at least – and then Aaron Fields, a guy that, Wesley's probably familiar with. He's on the offensive side of the ball. He played 3 years at Ole Miss. And was a part-time starter, and he's played tackle and guard, and he's coming in this weekend potentially as well. So, and then I just got sent a message from Rodney Orr that Umalian, the pass rusher from Ole Miss, who I guess has another year of eligibility, and
forever.
And well, now that's his brother because Alabama whiffed on the brother and then whiffed on him. And
that's number 1, right?
Yeah, and
he's a really good player.
Princely Umalian, actually the older brother, went to Baylor once. One of Alabama's esteemed assistant coaches wouldn't listen to somebody that was trying to hammer at him and tell him over, and it's the pole assassin, wouldn't listen and didn't think he was big enough to play at Alabama. And of course he goes to Baylor and becomes a star, and then he goes to Ole Miss. Yeah, exactly.
They found it dead 2 years later.
I heard the stories about the golf course and all that stuff. But anyway, that was
not everybody leaves a dead monkey at touchdown when they leave,
or leaves his wife and kids for a stripper. But anyways, that's where the pole assassin comes. Yeah, and
monkey just sit
he
over
at least
the top.
Married her.
Maybe that's the side story of Primate. Who knows?
I don't know. But that was Jeff Banks. Is who I'm just referring to.
Oh, we didn't say his name.
Yeah, I'd like to say it. But anyway, but Princely went to Baylor and then ended up at Ole Miss. Had a really good last year. Went to the NFL, and then his brother followed from Nebraska to Ole Miss last year. This past year had 9 sacks.
I thought it was the same guy.
And now,
that's what I know.
And now he's back in the portal. And I'm not yelling at Rodney, but I'm texting him back in all capitals. Please tell me that Alabama is going to recruit him this time. So I'm hoping.
Why is he in the portal?
That's a great question. I'm surprised with the entire defensive staff pretty much staying. And I thought, honestly, that I thought he might be out of eligibility anyway. But,
I thought he was.
So, but he's in the portal. And, if I were Alabama, you don't get 3 chances.
He has eligibility. He's really, really good.
Yeah, both of the Umalians have been really good, and Alabama needs to, they need an impact guy. And Damon Wilson is a guy they were trying to get involved with, but just the price is too much. He's the one that was at Georgia, then went to Missouri, and his price tag is probably $3 million. And so that's probably not going to be kosher. So, but if you could get Umalian, that would be huge. And I'm surprised, honestly, with the eligibility remaining and Pete Golding doing what he's done, that and their run they made, that he left. But I'll be honest with you. When you told me at the end of the season, I've already said this on Talking Ball without the S's and the F's, that if you had asked me, okay, Drew, what's going to happen going into year 3 with DeBoer, I never would have thought that Russaw or Smith would have left. I wouldn't have thought that Formby would have left.
But Russaw he's fallen the depth chart.
I know, but Isaiah Horton wouldn't have thought he would have left.
Well, when he left, I thought we were getting the other guy.
Yeah, well, Cam Coleman. That's the only time I let myself slightly believe it, but I really wasn't surprised. I really thought the whole time he was going to Texas. And then there's been a handful of players, 6 or 7 guys that I wouldn't have thought would have left, that I would have thought would have still been there and would have stayed.
This is
Jordan Renaud would have thought he would have stayed.
So Jordan Renaud, I guess, played okay for a freshman.
Well, he wasn't even a freshman; he was a sophomore. But
he was getting killed against Indiana. Killed. He got knocked. He was one of the reasons they were able to run the ball so much.
Yeah,
he got knocked 2 things over. I'm just saying. I'm not sure what's happening. Drew, is the price of these kids is going up.
Oh, I know, and that's what I was told about Horton. Horton, his price was just not even worth. Alabama was like, nah, we're not doing. That's why they went and got the young man from NC State. They're thinking it's the same difference, but for a cheaper price. I mean, from what the guy wants. I mean, he wanted more money than Ryan Williams, and the money. I was told by somebody that works in the Southeastern Conference, they'll go unnamed, that they were interested in Horton until they figured out what his price tag was, and then they were
he busted a lot of route.
Yeah, and he was good, but he wasn't. The production didn't meet the asking price.
Because his production is what it was. Because when he was supposed to run a post, the quarterback looked and he was running out. And as one great man said on our the boy from Mississippi State, the Pirate said, he's really good. They ran a really good route. He was wide open. It's just what he wanted. The quarterback didn't know where he was, so and that's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's
a big problem.
That was the case a lot of times with Horton.
Yeah,
especially early in the season. I think he got better at the end.
Why is there so much noise about assistant coaching changes in Tuscaloosa?
Because there needs to be noise about assistant coaching changes in Tuscaloosa. There needs to be at least 3. And if there's not, and I would have 4. I mean, that's already, your quarterback coach has already gone to be OC and QB coach at Michigan State under Pat Fitzgerald. And then, Jamarcus Shepard's the head coach at Oregon State right now. And so he took Aaron Hodges from the personnel department with him. So, and I understand all that, but I think, because if you watch Alabama play, look, they made the playoffs. Like Wes said, you can argue and you can make a strong argument that with what, they returned, and then, the injuries they went through and everything. And then, all the holes they had to fill anyway, going into this year, that they overachieved a little bit, like Wes said, after what he saw in practice. Because, Wes, I trust Wes's eyes. He told me that when he came back from practice. He's like, I don't know. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They make the playoffs. They go 11-4. So, and I know some people were frustrated because they lost to Oklahoma the first time. But again, and then the Florida State loss was kind of inexplicable. Mm-hmm. The way they lost to Indiana was bad, but Indiana, you see how good they are. Look, Indiana was just better, and it's what Wes and I talked about the whole year. I didn't think Alabama was going to win the national championship. I definitely thought they could play Indiana a tough game, and if they lost,
I go there. That's why
that would have not been surprising to me. But the way they lost, I think offensive and defensive lines right now, that's where Alabama's behind, because that's how. Wes just talked about Jordan Renaud. That's how Alabama got beat. They got dominated up front, and they couldn't move Indiana, and then they couldn't block them.
So here's the thing:
they couldn't block them, and they couldn't stop the run.
When you play defensive lineman, you have a gap basically, and then you run to the ball. But if you get knocked out of your gap or get knocked back, it affect the linebacker play, which is what we used to do so well when I was at Alabama. That's why we ran for so many yards. Linebackers couldn't make the tackle because we were knocking the defensive lineman back. And you don't have to knock them back far for that to change the angles. And, when a linebacker sees a fullback or a back go to a hole, if it comes to his side, he attacks the line of scrimmage. Well, you can't you attack the line of scrimmage for no gain, right? You knock the nose guard back, and now he has to come at a different angle. It's not no gain anymore. And you knock the back way back, he has to make a decision whether he's going over or under.
Okay.
And a good offensive lineman then can pick him, and then here we go.
Yep.
And that's what they were able to do. They knocked 11 back so far on several plays. Linebacker didn't have a
barn door open. And
and that's what that's what happened. It doesn't take but one defensive lineman for that to happen, to have a bad play. Everybody else on that play did their job, and then the linebacker kind of missed the play side linebacker kind of missed the tackle, and then
does Alabama need coaching changes?
That's hard for me to say because I don't.
I know his opinion.
Well, and he gets paid for that opinion. Yeah. But it's an opinion. So unless you're down there and really listening to what's going on or seeing the miss, I thought the defensive line they did a lot when everybody was hurt. They played pretty well. Well, they had some holes. And that freshman 90, he stayed, didn't he?
Yeah, thank goodness. See,
he can play.
There was I thought, and I guessed right when they said there was going to be another Alabama defensive lineman going into the portal, and I guessed it was Renaud. But I did say on the air that if it was Jean Zapier, who's not a lineman, but if it was Jean Zapier or London Simmons, I was going to get in a car and go rent a Greyhound bus and just take it to the front door of the football complex and sweep them all out. Because I mean, you can't allow Jan Zapier to leave, especially after Rousseau did, and you can't allow London Simmons.
Well, they didn't,
and they didn't.
We're talking about something that didn't happen.
I know, and so I'm just saying
they only have. So here's the deal: it's all about money.
Yeah, and I think they allocated money to those guys.
Money, yeah, well, of course, that's why they didn't leave. If they'd allocated to the other guys, they would have left. But you can't pay 11 a lot of money because I'm not sure he's ever going to get the ask to keep from getting. I mean, he does well. He's a decent pass rusher. He didn't have half a sack, but he had some pressures this year.
Hey, as long as you're affecting the pocket, and I mean,
right. But against the run, he was getting killed.
Yeah,
and I don't ever think he'll have the ass or the weight to be a good run stopper. So he might. It's hard to say, but you know what he's asking you can't pay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like what's happening right now is this was what the minimum was, say, X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year. And a lot of it's gone to 2X.
And the money goes up every year, and Alabama
it's gone up double.
And Alabama made a very competitive offer to a lot of these guys. They made an offer to Keon Keeley. They made a good.
I thought that's the biggest loss out of it.
Of all of them that have left so far,
Rousseau would make a good play.
Yeah,
but the next play throw you in the damn. He'd throw you in the river.
My nickname for him is Glass Joe Rousseau. You know, from the old Mike Tyson's Punch Out, because he's always in the training room. And I mean, to be honest, I think he should have. And I don't know for sure this is what happened, but I think what they wanted him to do, and I think it would have been a good move for him. They wanted him to move inside and play in because there's been so many guys lost at inside linebacker. And they wanted him to try to expand his toolbox a little bit and help him inside. And I think it would have been a good move for him because I didn't ever think he made enough plays outside anyway.
Well, that's because he couldn't contain. He never set an edge.
Well, and so, but again,
against Michigan last year, he got a speed on 3rd and 6. He went inside. He had the hedge.
Yeah, but and then James Smith was a good player. He never turned into a great one. So they were going to be joined at the hip. If Rousseau had agreed to move inside and stay, I think Smith stays because from what I heard, they offered the same money he ended up getting from Ohio State to Smith, but they were joined at the hip. So if one left, the other one was leaving. So they went to Ohio State. So, but I agree with you. The only two that kind of bothered me at the time was I was bothered, of course, by Keeley because I thought he was coming on, had a chance to start.
I thought he was the most improved at the end.
And then Horton. But then when you find out the backstory that Horton wanted all this money, I'm like, nah. And then they go get the NC State kid, and I'm like, well, that's fine with me.
Whoever screwed that up, that was a big screw up.
And then the only other thing that bugged me and was just the whole process with Hollywood Smothers because it never should have happened. He should have been signed before he left. So really, Keeley and Smothers is the only thing that bothered me. And Alabama has the money. They don't have Texas money or Texas Tech or A&M, maybe even Oregon, but they have enough money to replace everybody else that they've lost. And really everybody they've lost. But it's what you talked about. Jack Crow put it perfectly. You better sign the right ones.
Careful.
Yeah.
If they sign the right players, and they
a little different.
And see the thing is, I think that was the one thing where they didn't do a good enough job with last year and that's what they're going to have to adjust, and they're trying to this year. They didn't do a good enough job in the portal a year ago. They've got to embrace it and do a better job this year.
We do need to take our first time out. By the way, there is some news that came out this afternoon. The Egg Bowl is officially announced for Friday, November the 27th in Oxford, Mississippi. That will be a Friday Egg Bowl once again.
Yeah.
Well,
if you talk to Brian Haydad, that'll be the last stand of Jeff Lebby.
We shall see. I did have a couple of thoughts that I wanted to get your opinion on. One in particular about increasing the SEC season by a conference game. And this comment by Kirby Smart has just been in my head ever since he said it, since post game of the SEC championship game. So going to dive into that on the other side as well. We're live here from Full Moon Barbecue. Come on by. We're here for 30 more minutes. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943. Member FDIC.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Full Moon Barbecue is where we are at here. Phone line's open to you if you'd like to chime in at 256-576-4977. The telephone number, 256-576-4977.
And Steve, I know you're about to get back into the conversation about the ad in the game, but what I was going to say about Alabama is I mentioned already that that Blake Purchase was coming in, Terrence Green, and I mentioned the Cal Poly center who I think has a chance to come in and start. He's a Racine Delgado. He is on campus. That is confirmed. Ethan Fields was the kid I mentioned that should be there tomorrow. That's a former Ole Miss Rebel. He's an interior offensive lineman. There's also a wide receiver probably coming in this weekend, Nico Brown from Yale, who was the best receiver in the Ivy League. Because to be honest, Alabama, they got the kid from NC State, but that really he's really going to replace Isaiah Horton.
Okay.
But they probably need 2 more receivers because they've only got 6 on scholarship because they've been decimated both years with receivers leaving. A lot of the guys that aren't starting. Cole Adams ended up at Vandy, by the way.
That's right.
Micah Dibos, the offensive lineman, ended up at Vandy. There's there's several that have gone from Alabama to Vandy and Alabama to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
That's where it seems to be a lot of them are going.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say the Nick Brooks, I believe, is the kid from Texas who is 6'7", 350, who's played guard and tackle. He'll be coming in. He could be a potential tackle for Alabama. And so it'll be interesting because, like I say, they just, as far as offensive linemen, they've got to hit on a couple that can come in and play immediately. And I think one of them needs to be a tackle because I do think they've got guys like Mike Carroll who can be a really good right tackle. But then, they at left tackle, they don't really have a dude with Caden Proctor gone to the NFL. They certainly have a young redshirt freshman that will compete, but they just need more bodies at OT.
Well, I've said this quite a bit this year in particular, Drew, and I know you and I are both kind of basketball junkies where I just really enjoy the sport. And I've said this several times that I think football is turning into basketball, especially with the expansion of this tournament in particular, where it is an attrition thing where just because you're playing very well at the beginning of the year doesn't mean you're set up for a national championship run. You don't have to pitch a perfect game anymore. Case in point is Miami. And what they are potentially going to do on Monday, although I think Indiana's going to win. But it's a different deal. This sport has changed.
No, it has. It changed a lot. And, we were talking to Bill Bender on the show from the Sporting News.
Yeah, I heard that this morning.
And he's followed the Big Ten, as closely as anyone. And like he told us, I mean, we all knew that Indiana would still be good, but I'm not sure anybody thought they'd be better than they were the year before.
I'm hoping
when they lost their last 2 games.
But I'm hoping we get to see quad 1, quad 2, you know what I'm talking about? It is helpful in determining, there's obviously more games that go on in college basketball, but the quad 1, quad 2 wins, I think needs to be implemented in college football somehow. It's something needs to change.
It's the schedule strength component.
Yes,
and I mean that's.
I think that came into play at the end this year because they were scared of the SEC.
And because of the previous year, you think, or
I think because they realized that they're not going to be any good games. Even
well, you saw the television ratings take a hit, even with the Miami Ole Miss game, where they were not as good as they were last year. And again, that's kind of a basketball mentality where everybody wants to see the upset,
but why?
They want the blue bloods at the end.
But why was the schedule? Why do you think? Because it was on Thursday night. That's why.
I do think Wes is right. I think they need to work with the NFL and trying to get the games on Saturdays, Friday or Saturdays.
Yeah, but I heard somebody was it Glanville said it might have been the best football weekend ever.
Yeah.
That was John McClain.
John McClain. Yeah, I agree with that. I think
from Thursday to Monday.
Yeah, but I think
game.
You have a game on Saturday night where traditionally that's when colleges play versus Thursday night.
Well, the NFL had 2 games on Saturday. They did not do the early game Saturday. They did the afternoon and night game on Saturday.
But it does.
I mean, you could argue the college football could have done something Saturday instead of Friday night.
but
then move Thursday to Friday, Friday to
listen. I'm going to tell you
Saturday.
what I'm scared of. What's going on? Did you see UCLA's home attendance money?
No.
It was down 20%. Yeah, 20% down. Their college revenue for tickets was down 20%.
So it was almost,
and that's a Big Ten school.
I mean, that's probably almost as much money as Lane Kiffin spent on juice.
Well, let me tell you,
fake dog.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't even own juice. You know that, right?
I know. That's why I just said the fake dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm
we've
going
got a Pole
hunting.
Assassin reference.
I'm
and a
supposed to
juice
go
reference.
hunting next weekend with Juice's owner.
Wow, there you go.
Really?
That's awesome.
And
That's,
it ain't
that's gonna
Lane
be
Kiffin.
something. It ain't Lane. I'm going to tell you what, man. If you want to hear one of the funniest phone calls in the history of our show this morning, we've got another thing we're doing with the Three Stooges, and it's Drew's most hated coaches in college football. And number one's always going to be Fatimus Maximus, aka Philip Fulmer. Nobody will ever displace him. And then number two's Dirtneck, aka Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo.
Number
the voice of reason.
Yeah,
Jimbo Fisher.
yeah. Number three's Lane the Liar, and with the fake dog. And then we had just the three, and then we were trying to figure out Shemp. And we got it down between Ed Ogeron, but I just can't hate Ed Ogeron. He's just too nice a guy. He's just too funny a guy. It had, and we decided it was the Urban Liar. It had to be Urban Liar.
Be the Urban Liar.
Yeah, so he's Shemp. And now we did some research, and there was 6 Stooges, so we got to find 2 more. So
there's plenty.
I haven't found 2 more. Yeah, I hadn't found 2 more yet, but we have the top 4.
I wonder if Bielema might be on.
So
that
what are the
list.
top 4 again? Of course, the number 1 was
Fatimus Maximus.
Fatimus Maximus.
Yeah,
Dirtneck.
Number 2's Dirtneck.
Yep.
No,
I still don't know the story.
Number 3 is Burnt Popcorn, and number 4 is Urban Liar.
Burnt Popcorn is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Get your popcorn ready.
Popcorn ready.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It should have been. We have. Yeah.
Okay, so this one clip from Kirby Smart is just running through my head. This is post game after the Georgia-Alabama SEC championship game.
I'm going to jump on a soapbox now because I'm going to take your question and run with it, but I want to give you a hypothetical. Okay, that was the 9th game of our SEC schedule, right? So now just imagine that was the 9th game of the season for everybody in the SEC, and everybody played another SEC game. Now, I'm not saying it was on this week. I'm saying it was on a previous week. So that's 8 more losses, right? 16 teams. It's 8 more losses in our league. So 1 team, 2 teams. Let's say this last weekend it was Oklahoma and Ole Miss or whoever hadn't played yet. They played and they got losses. And then they're going to go to the SEC championship and play another game. Those 2 teams were beat up tonight, and that was the 9th game of the year. And we're looking at next year having another game. I mean, the coaches in our league are concerned about it, very concerned about it, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't speak my piece and say that it's concerning. Because if that game affects Alabama, I don't know if it will or not. I have no say-so in it. I've sat in those shoes many times where that game costs you an opportunity. But hypothetically, every team just played another game in their 9th game. So there's 8 more losses. Who just dropped out? All right, and then there's another game, SEC championship. It's tough.
He's right. Who else been saying that for the whole time? That would be me.
Yeah.
I think it's the stupidest thing we've ever done. Capitulated what we did. We capitulated to the Big Ten.
So that was a game of chicken that the SEC lost to the Big Ten.
Yeah, but
Here's
I
another
think it
game
had
of
more
chicken.
to do about money. That's what I'm telling you.
I would agree with
that.
But then here we go with another game of chicken with the Big Ten wanting 24 and the SEC not wanting that. There is a surge from what I'm reading about to get to 16. But the only caveat I'm reading out of Tony Petitti is we'll go to 16 just for a couple of years, then we'll go to 24. That is the negotiating point.
But I just keep it same.
Yeah.
I think it's a mistake now to keep it the same a little bit because of what Kirby said.
Well,
because if you don't go to 16, there's going to be they're not getting 5. They're not getting 4 in the rest of the time. Because I don't know how you can go through that schedule and not lose
There's going to be 8 more losses next year.
Yeah, but so they got to make it. You know what they got to do is they have to quit playing Big Ten schools. Listen, I didn't know this. You know how many of the Big Ten schools have ever been and played a game in Bryant-Denny? How many Big Ten schools in Bryant-Denny?
Well, Wisconsin was there this year.
Badgers.
Yeah, Wisconsin was there this year.
And Penn State, 2. There's only been 2.
Wow.
They don't want to come to Tuscaloosa.
You can get that ass whooped.
Was Penn State in the Big Ten when they?
No, they were independent.
They were in the Big Ten when they came out.
Oh, no. You're talking about the 10 and 11. Yeah.
I forgot about
Coach Bowden had come. And then
I was thinking
2010, Alabama won that impressively. And then they won the rematch in A.J. McCarron's first road start in Game 2 in 2011.
Was a big
tough
hitting.
game.
Yeah, that was a big, hard-hitting game.
Yeah, because they were still not even sure if A.J. was going to be the dude, but he kind of proved himself in that game when they won a defensive battle and ran the ball, and then he made some big throws. And
I mean, Coach Saban makes them win the team. I think wasn't they winning the position, you're winning the team.
Yeah. I remember one of the stories AJ told about one time when Saban tested him by dropping him to the third team.
Yeah, that was
he stormed into the office. What are you doing? He goes, "I'm testing your leadership, and you're failing miserably."
Yeah, you failed miserably. Yeah, that was.
Let's go ahead and take our final timeout.
He was a master at that.
Final call for phone. Yes, he was.
I think Coach Bryant was better at it than he was. Not recruiting.
I mean, I just heard a funny story from Jeff Rutledge too. Because when Jeff was coming out of Banks High School, he asked Coach Bryant. He goes, "Well, Coach, if I come there, are you going to throw it more?" And he looked at him and said, "Not if I don't have to."
Final call for phone calls on the other side. We're live here from Full Moon Barbecue. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, "You need a new roof." Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
The Rich Eisen Show.
When I said back in the middle of December that we would miss the Kansas City Chiefs being in the playoffs, did you notice I had my finger on that chess piece this entire time for a month? I'm off on that one.
Man, I was hoping you weren't going to say anything because I was going to do this on Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. We don't miss them at all. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. So, yeah. Wrong about that one.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
This is Jerome from Birmingham, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Let's check in with Andre in the ATL. Hello, Andre. Good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on, Coach Feinbaum? Sound like you're a little bit under the weather cheering for them Ole Miss Rebels from Oxford, Mississippi, Coach. Is that true?
Had a little bit too much hotty-toddy last night out in Phoenix.
The Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Temperatures fall into the mid-20s for this overnight across the Tennessee Valley. We'll continue to sit under a mostly clear sky. Heading into our Friday, a few showers will be possible in the later half of the afternoon. Expect to see partly sunshine. High temperatures warming into the low 50s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at Full Moon Barbecue, along with Drew DeArmond and Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. We've had a little bit of everything here this hour, a pole assassin reference. And
yeah, it's always good to bring up Jeff Banks.
Yeah. And
he could be a stooge if he ever became a head coach.
We had a dirt neck reference, but how about this?
I want to tell another funny story because just to piggyback off of Jack Crow and what he was talking about in recruiting, when you would recruit a teammate of somebody else, that happened early in the Saban era, brother. I'll never forget Lance Thompson telling this story. It was St. Paul's High School, and they got a commitment from Ivan Matchett, running back, good player. He had another teammate who was pretty good. His name was Mark Barron, and he became a monster, as everybody says.
Yeah.
And as he said, we signed Barron, we signed Matchett. Matchett got a back injury, got a medical scholarship, and everything was groovy.
Mark Barron was an incredible player.
And then another one of those package deals worked out even better for Alabama because one ended up being one of the defining players of the Saban generation, and I call it a generation because it was 17 years, and it's Julio Jones. But they signed his teammate who played several years in the NFL named Robert Lester.
Yeah.
He was an underrated safety.
Well, I'm going to tell you, so
school.
Robert Lester, I think, led the Southeastern Conference in interceptions.
He did, I think, in 2010.
Yeah, and in that year, 6 of them he ran the wrong coverage, which was read by the quarterback. So he was where he wasn't supposed to be, but worked out really good.
Yeah,
because it worked out that the quarterback didn't think he was going to be there either.
Yeah. That's the defensive version of the Florida game in 2014, where Blake Sims had the wrong play sheet and they kept calling the wrong plays, and Saban was having an aneurysm, but he was just, I'm throwing it to 9. 9's open all the time.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah. Is that was the first play of the game, which was the
first play of the game actually was they threw it was like a wheel route to he just retired 2 years ago.
Yeah, the running back
played several years. Number 17, of course. I can't believe I'm getting old too. Kenyon Drake. From Atlanta, Georgia. Kenyon Drake. They threw the wheel route to Kenyon on the first play, and then because they were all worried about Amari Cooper, so it's 87 yards on the first play.
They had a linebacker trying to cover.
Yeah, and he just ran straight past him. He was behind him 10 yards, but Kenyon ran that first play, and then of course the rest of the game, Cooper just torched him because Muschamp was the coach then, and he was trying to play zone, and he thought he could play zone back there, and
he's back in Texas.
And then he thought that they could confuse Blake Sims, and And they kind of were. He was calling the wrong place, but they were working because they couldn't cover, Amari Cooper. So, Tyler Siskey, who's been a guest on this show several times, he told the story, and Blake was a guest on their podcast. He was going to get benched at halftime until they figured out they had the wrong play sheet. But it still worked.
That's just nuts.
That's just crazy. I mean, he threw for like 484 yards that day.
Tom Brady recently spoke with Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight. He has several businesses, but one of them clones family dogs.
Good Lord. Is Lane Kiffin using this?
You mentioned Juice. Yeah, he doesn't own a dog.
He has a fake dog.
Yeah, that's right.
That's marketing. He's a marketing guy. He came up with the SIP. Now it's the boot.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
this makes me sick.
Tom Brady.
The ladies in my office are obsessed with the clone dog. How is that? How did that work? They're obsessed.
Yeah.
They're obsessed. How did that work?
It was really unique, actually. One of my really good friends, I invested in a company called Colossal, and they were talking about bringing back animals from extinction. And I was with one of my great friends, and he got back from a conference where Ben spoke, and he said, hey, I talked to Ben, and he talked about like cloning a dog, and it was at this point that my dog was getting to the end of her life. And this dog's been in our family forever, and I said, hey, let's give him a call. So we called him up that night, and I'm like, man, tell me about it. And he was like, hey, it'd be pretty easy. We just draw a little blood, and that's all we need. And I'm like, this is insane. 4 months later, my little baby Junie was born.
Wow.
So we wanted to call her, she's a girl, so we didn't want to call her Junior, so we named her Junie, and she's just been a great addition to our family.
I've seen the movie.
Jurassic Park,
that would be
the reality show.
Yeah.
Hopefully this isn't Cujo.
I was wondering if that dog knew jiu-jitsu.
That would be scary. And I love dogs. I'm just saying.
He doesn't get it.
No.
You get it.
Yeah.
I mean, my aunt and uncle just got a new dog. I mean, my mom just sent the pictures. Congrats to them. Shout out. Because they lost their dog over the Christmas holidays.
And, I know Wes, I know you got several dogs.
Tom Brady was talking about.
Yeah, all my dogs, they're I got an old folks home with dogs right now. I got one young one, that's it. Everybody else is 19.
Don't give anybody any ideas in the neighbor's household on the potential of cloning dogs out there.
We cloned the last one. The one that died last year. It's been a year.
Wow, has it really?
Yeah. Yeah. We had a guard dog that was something else.
Yeah. Gigantic. Gigantic.
Yes, it was gigantic. He was awesome dog though, very loyal dog.
Oh, by the way, and I'm sure you guys probably already did at the start of the show. I didn't hear but happy birthday to Miss Terry.
That's right. It is Miss Terry's birthday.
Right.
But let's by the way, Tennessee transfer quarterback Jake Merklinger ends up at UConn.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think they've really. Are they still trying to get Aguilar's year of eligibility back since they've been whiffing?
I have not heard anything on that update.
Wow.
At least. Let's see here. Former Alabama cornerback Cameron Calhoun commits to Ohio State. That was earlier today.
I don't even remember him.
Number 9. He barely played on special teams. He's leading a charmed life because he signed with Michigan out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And then he transferred to Utah, played a lot, got enough film to go to Alabama, barely plays at Alabama, and is now going to Ohio State. So I don't get it. He's only had one good year.
I don't know about the people.
This O'Neal kid, Carmelo O'Neal, that Alabama got out of Mercer.
Yeah.
I think they like him better than they did Cam Calhoun.
Now, Keon Keeley ended up going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame. That's where he was committed to out of high school. Yeah, just kind of like when Ty Haygood.
A couple other
Haywood, Ty Haywood, the offensive lineman from Michigan who committed to Alabama for a long time, ended up going to Michigan for a year, and now it's come back to Alabama.
LSU defensive lineman Walter Mathis Jr. commits to Auburn. This was about an hour ago. And then Oklahoma announces the return of their quarterback, John Mateer.
What? How does he have another year?
I'm just telling you what's in front of me from on 3.
Well, I mean, I don't mind him coming back. He likes Xavier Brown a lot.
So, who's the other guy going to Ohio State from Alabama?
James Smith and Russaw. They're both going to Ohio State and Cam Calhoun. So I guess they'll room together, I'm assuming.
But I don't.
Brody, I appreciate you coming in.
They're good players, but they're not great players.
No, I don't think so. And I hope Ohio State doesn't win.
And a big thank you to Full Moon Barbecue for hosting us.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Cowbells and swamp, the